Welcome back, everybody. Today we will be discussing the Jordan 1 CO.JP Navy, also known as the Jordan 1 Japan Navy. Specifically, we will be discussing some release info, how to cop, and of course, as usual, some resale predictions for everything at the end of the video. The Jordan 1 CO.JP Navy releases on November 14th, while they have actually already dropped in Europe not too long ago. Hence, you see pre-sale prices already a little lower than what they would normally be 1 week out. This is the second colorway this year of the Jordan 1 CO.JP. The prior pair came in all silver, while this one comes in a midnight navy. Retail will be $170 for the men's pairs, $130 for the grade school pairs, $70 for preschool, and $55 for toddler. Now, regarding resale, we will cover that towards the end of the video, as always, for all sizes, not just the men's, because it will vary significantly. Now, regarding stock, the total stock between all sizes is just under 90,000 pairs. This is actually pretty limited for a Jordan 1, similar to the last one, but keep in mind demand plays more of a significant factor in comparison to stock, which we'll discuss at the end of the video in the resale predictions portion. So for scale, the Mocha Jordan 1 had 280,000 pairs, but those were one of the hardest Jordan 1 drops, at least manually, because they were the most demanded Jordan 1 highs that were non-collabs in a very long time. With the release info out of the way though, let's jump into how to cop the Jordan 1 CO.JP in Navy. Specifically for this how to cop, we'll be going in chronological order along with exactly how to efficiently manage your time and set up for this drop with maximum efficiency, since a lot will be going on at once and you need to manage your time properly. Prior to discussing the first come first serve online drops though, regarding any raffles, you should expect me as always to tweet out raffles or a list on my Twitter, KeithAdam10, and as raffles are opening up, myself and some staff will also be tweeting them out on personals for you. Just a reminder, this is an account I just recently made for you guys to help you out even more for free. And also, regarding raffles, please make sure that you do not forget to sign up for the Flex app reservations when they do open up closer to the drop. This is definitely one of the best ways to get pairs. Also, aside from the reservations themselves, I would also suggest calling your local Foot Locker, Foot Action, and Champs post-drop to ask about their process for leftover pairs. Some do tickets, while some do first come first serve, waiting outside of the store after the reservation pickup times do end. It's unlikely that you can secure anything under size 10 through leftovers, but it's pretty common to get sizes 10 to 13 like this, which are still pretty good of course, so it's highly suggested you do go this route if you haven't been doing this already. But now moving on to the online first come first serve sites, kicking it off with 8 a.m. Eastern time, we should be seeing undefeated drop at this time. Before this time, make sure you are signed into your undefeated accounts, as it is required for this site to use an account to check out. Be ready to solve a checkpoint captcha as well. And lastly, just a disclaimer that this site is Shopify, meaning that it will be extremely difficult to manually cop if you don't have a bot, or at least if you don't have a Shopify monitor with add to cart links. Still, regardless, try your best, since there is normally nothing else going on at this time. Since you won't have anything else to focus on, might as well give it a shot, of course. Then the same goes for 9 a.m. Eastern time. We may potentially see 3 Shopify sites drop. This would be Ama Miniere, Social Status, and APB Store, just because they sometimes do together at this time. If they don't, they'll likely drop at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and at that point, I would not place focus on these, considering the stock is significantly low on these, and 90% of the time, some of these sites don't even drop any stock at all. They just load the link out of stock, which essentially means they backdoored pairs, which is really suspicious, and perhaps we'll have to make a full video on that one day. However, if they do end up dropping at 9 a.m. Eastern time, since there is nothing else to focus on at that time, might as well give it a shot, similar to undefeated, even though chances of copying from any of those 3 sites are extremely slim. And same as undefeated, expect checkpoint captcha, but no account is required here. Make sure you set up Chrome autofill at least too. Now, moving on to 10 a.m. Eastern time, this is where the actual fun begins. Since there is a lot to focus on, I'm going to guide you and suggest you how to efficiently manage your time properly. First, I would suggest choosing 1 or 2 Shopify sites of your choice to focus on at exactly 10 a.m. Eastern time, since those will sell out the quickest. If I had to personally choose 2 for you guys, I would suggest Jimmy Jazz and DTLR, since they do get pretty high stock and they do have a checkpoint as well. Shop Nice Kicks gets good stock too, and so does Shoe Palace, but variants are loaded beforehand, which makes it significantly easier for bots to check out there. So also, if you are in a cook group, group that does send out Kith early links, I would suggest considering going for them on there as well, since that does give you a slight edge as well. An alternative for choosing a Shopify site would be going for Hibbett at exactly 10 a.m. Eastern time as well, since Hibbett will sell out quickly. Both men and grade school pages are already loaded. Just go to launches and click coming soon to find it. My biggest advice here for Hibbett would be to use Apple Pay on checkout on your mobile device for the most efficient way to check out. Now, right after that drop is over, whether you decide to go for Hibbett or whether you decide to go for Shopify, and if Shopify, perhaps while even you're waiting in queue to pass, I want you guys to enter in as many sneakers accounts into the drop as possible until around 10:03 a.m. Eastern time. I'll explain why that is soon. This is going to be your number one chance by far for copying these. Not only is the most stock allotted to Nike sneakers by a significant amount, but they have also been doing an incredible job with stopping bots recently. The minimal amount of success that bots do get from very hype drops like this are solely through browser mode, which prevents mass tasks from being ran like they were before. Now, what's the most efficient way to cop off of Nike sneakers manually? Well, this drop is specifically going to be a Leo drop, not a draw, which I discussed in some of my prior how to cop videos. Leo drops, just to remind you guys, essentially looks like a first come first serve drop, but it's actually just a 2 to 3 minute draw in disguise. Leo stands for let everyone order, but it's not quite that simple either. I actually just recently made a full out video on this, which I highly suggest watching. For those who have already seen it, feel free to skip to here on the screen right now, but for those of you who haven't already seen it, I'll just briefly break it down for the most important things for you guys. So when it comes to very hype drops like this, Off-White, Travis, any Jordan 1 highs in general, filtering of accounts is very high. In order to combat this, you guys do need to prime your Nike sneakers accounts, similar to what you would do for Gmail accounts when trying to avoid fading captchas. When it comes to Nike sneakers accounts, in order to generate activity, you can favorite multiple products, click the share option, and simply going for more drops in general. Believe it or not, taking L's actually does increase your chances of winning, as well as receiving exclusive access, so that's a bonus. Another highly suggested method would be for watching the street sneakers videos on all of your accounts, and if you guys do need to make more accounts, remember that Nike does require SMS verification, and unfortunately you cannot use the same number twice, so you will have to ask a friend of yours to use their phone number and ask them for the verification code. However, if you rather not bother your friends or you just want a significant amount of pre-verified Nike sneakers accounts, feel free to check out the link in the description for my site TAR. Now, after sneakers, it'll be around 10:04 a.m. Eastern time, 10:05 a.m. Eastern time, sometime around here. At this point, you'll want to shift your focus to foot sites and periodically checking Finish Line, JD Sports, and Snipes to see if you passed the queue on there. Make sure you set up all the tabs for these sites beforehand. You should set them up as soon as you see my account or personals for you tweet out the links. This way, they're already ready to go after you enter in all of your accounts from sneakers, and you don't have to worry about it later. So obviously, setting up beforehand does play an important factor. The key to copying on foot sites, which is Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, Foot Action, Eastbay, Champs, is persistency, not exactly speed. Especially as of recently, it's gotten more and more difficult for manual users off of these foot site drops, but regardless, it still is very possible. I've seen people cop manually on foot sites as late as 45 minutes into the drop, so you really just can't give up when it comes to here. You have to keep on clicking add to cart over and over again until it finally does cart. Obviously, these are really terrible sites, and as for Finish Line, JD Sports, and Snipes, as you're trying to cart on foot sites, just periodically keep on checking your tabs to see if you have pass queue on there, and when you do pass queue, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just try to add to cart from there. Just one thing to note for Finish Line and JD Sports specifically, not really so much of a worry for Snipes. I would no longer suggest opening up multiple Chrome users for Finish Line and JD Sports unless you are using a proxy switcher. This is mainly just because they have gotten much more sensitive to requests, meaning that IP bans are significantly more likely than they used to be many months ago or even last year. Just try to be careful when it does come to those two sites. Also, just a quick note, don't be surprised if you get a refund from either of those two sites, because they do often let you order when it's out of stock, essentially a ghost order. Now, regarding any Europe sites, they have already dropped a while ago, sort of the opposite of how the Mocha drop went when US was first, but regarding that Mocha drop, I will be uploading a video for when the Europe sites will be happening on the 19th and 20th, so be sure to subscribe and enable post post notifications if you have not already. But anyway, that will be it for the how to cop portion of the video. Now with the how to cop out of the way, let's move on to the resale predictions for these. Regarding resale predictions now, despite stock being relatively low for Jordan 1 high, like I was mentioning earlier, demand is certainly the larger factor. The Mocha Jordan 1 had an insane amount of demand for a non-collab Jordan 1 high, hence resale is so incredible despite the higher stock of 280,000 pairs. Regarding this, they are in high demand since they are a Jordan 1 high, and this colorway is specifically a retro from a 2001 pair. However, it is nowhere close to the Mocha, of course. Still, regardless, there is high demand. Due to this, I am expecting a very similar performance to the prior Jordan 1 high Japan in silver. Therefore, men's pairs should sit around 220 post shipments. It should be around 10% higher than that after the initial drop, but then it should eventually settle to 220. So of course, smaller sizes should perform slightly better than that, than the average price of 220, but regardless, I would still highly suggest going for all sizes up to 14. Although it won't be like the Mocha profit, it's certainly still decent, easy profit, especially in the smaller sizes. So regardless, I'll be going full throttle on them. When it comes to the grade school pairs, on the other hand, I'm also expecting a similar performance to the prior Japan pair. So essentially in this case, for the grade school pairs, somewhere in the 210 to 215 range once shipments do come in. This means you should expect great profit and a great margin, a much better margin than the men's pairs. Definitely full throttle on grade school pairs. Now regarding preschool and toddler pairs, I am not expecting those to be profitable. I would suggest those for only personals for your children. In conclusion, I'd suggest going all out for the men and grade school pairs, but of course the best margin will certainly be on the grade school pairs by a landslide. Personally, I love small easy profit, so I'll definitely be going all out on the men's pairs of course too. But anyway, that will conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you did enjoy or you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also subscribe and enable post notifications just so you're always 100% updated just when it comes to any hype drops such as these. Also, be sure to check the links in the description if you guys do need pre-verified, reliable, affordable Nike sneakers or Adidas accounts, as well as reliable, fast residential proxies. Also, be sure to stay 100% updated on anything urgent, or for the Raffle list that you follow, keep that on 10 on Twitter, as well as personals for you. With that though, I'll see you guys later. Good luck on this drop.